Are these one of the most consistent Nike lines out there, or just overall basketball shoe lines? I think so, but let's find out more. What's up guys, Vinny here with Sneaker Tweaker and welcome back to another video. Today we have the performance review on the Nike Zoom KD17. Now the KD line, as I mentioned earlier, is by far one of the most consistent lines out there, and just overall has been a joy to play in year after year after year. And they've had a lot more hits than they have had misses, and I've just absolutely enjoyed my time in just playing in this line. Obviously, you know, certain things have changed throughout the years based on, you know, KD's age, and same thing with LeBron and whatnot. I mean, LeBron's, I feel like, went backwards. The older he got, the less cushion he started using, which I guess would have to do with him just being more of a shooter and not really driving down the lane as much. If, you know, you could tell that by watching the Olympics, which just seems like he's just driving down the lane. However, like I said, the KD17s are a continuation of a great line, of a successful line. But before we get into the performance review, I do want to mention that if you do love content like this and you do enjoy our reviews, please, please, please hit that like button, comment below, and also subscribe. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next video or the one after that. And if you do want to support us further, feel free to check out sneakertweaker.com. Link is in our bio, and shop for some merch. So we have this t-shirt right here. This one says, "Money can't buy love, but it can buy sneakers." And we do have other shirts like this, as far as also tank tops and hoodies. So again, your support means a lot to us. So if you guys can do that, we greatly appreciate that. Back to the performance review. As always though, let's start it off with the traction. Now, the Nike KD17 features a multi-directional traction pattern. This kind of feels like an exaggerated, I guess, herringbone slash radial traction pattern. It's kind of like everywhere. And it's, I guess, a little bit exaggerated. And on top of that, just super, super good actually. Like, the traction works really, really well. It bites the floor extremely, extremely hard and is able to play through dust. And obviously, I mean, clean courts for sure, but dusty conditions don't really get in the way of it. Now, I will say it does collect a decent amount of dust, so you do have to wipe every now and then, but I wouldn't say, you know, every other play you have to wipe. It's every few plays, just do a quick wipe and it's off. Now, they don't all come off super easy, as you can tell. Dust on my shoes is just kind of stuck there. Part of that does have to do with the translucent outsole. Nike's translucent outsoles lately have been a lot tackier than what their solid rubber outsoles have been doing, and usually it's been the other way around. And on top of that, they're, you know, just overall their solid rubbers have been performing better. That hasn't been the case recently, and this is no exception. Now, I can't say that with full confidence just because I haven't tried out a solid rubber outsole one yet, but I have seen other shoe reviewers test out both, and which I will also, you know, get a solid rubber outsole just to, you know, have an updated performance review potentially down the line. However, just as far as translucent outsole, it works really well. Now, as far as durability, you can already see some fraying, particularly on the outer sides of the outsole, and that, I mean, that happens to me a lot in Nike shoes, and you also see it a lot in the strike zones. So Nike, I wouldn't say makes the most durable shoes, but I mean, they do definitely make some fun shoes to play in. The traction is also pretty squeaky, and it does have that feedback for those of you that love that feedback. Again, as I always say, feedback doesn't equate to performance. However, if you do like to hear that sound, that, you know, that audio, that's definitely there. As far as, you know, durability, as I mentioned already, it is fraying, so I wouldn't say it's going to be the best shoe to take outdoors just because it's already fraying from indoor play. However, the grooves are pretty thick, and on top of that, they do seem pretty deep, or not seem, they are pretty deep. So you could potentially get away with it, and especially when these do go on sale inevitably, by all means go for it, because other aspects of the shoe make these a great, I guess, not a contender, but a great shoe to actually play outdoors in. The biggest issue usually ends up being durability with a lot of shoes that come with a good amount of tech. Now for the cushion, it's got the same cushion setup as the Nike KD16. So you have a 4-foot Zoom Strobel, and then you have heel air, just air Strobel. So that one overall with this setup, it works really good. The cushion is super bouncy, particularly in the 4-foot. I do love the setup. I didn't think I was going to like it, especially with the, I want to say the 12, the 13, and the 14, and the 15 having full length Zoom or Zoom Strobel, and then it departing a little bit from it when it hit 16. However, 16 was one of my favorite KDs to play in all time, and I would say this one is a pretty similar setup. And again, I'm not mad at it. It works really, really well. It's got a ton of impact protection. You do get a decent amount of court feel as well, but you're not going to get court feel like you would like in a Sabrina or, you know, a Jaw 1 or something like that, just because it does have a good amount of cushion. And part of why I mentioned, you know, KD shoes have been evolving with his gameplay is this aspect right here, is there's more cushion involved in his shoes, thicker cushions rather than more low to the ground, smaller setups. So cushion's great, core feel decent, but impact protection absolutely amazing. Get more compression in the heel and more responsiveness and bounce in the 4-foot. As for the fit, these do fit true to size. I did go with my regular size 9. However, one nice thing with these is, with me being a slightly wide footer / medium footer, these do have a more wider base. So these are wide foot friendly, which is really odd for, you know, not just Nike, but even more so KD, because KD, if you've, you know, seen his feet, I guess, which is weird, but anyway, if you've seen his feet, he's got long, skinny feet. And the fact that they made a more wide foot friendly shoe is going to be, or not going to be, is a little weird. However, I think it's nice that Nike has accommodated a little bit to people with different foot shapes, and they're not just super skinny and long like they normally are. Now, I will say most players' shoes are exclusively built for them, so you know, we could be getting this general release one where it's a little bit wider, but KD's is probably a lot more narrow to fit his feet better. We kind of get what's a general release, what's mass produced, and if it fits us great. If not, we have to kind of maneuver the sizes to see which one's going to fit us best. So fit, super nice, really didn't require any break in time at all, and that I can't really say that for much of any other Nike shoe. As for the materials and the support, I wouldn't say this one's got nearly as much support as before. And then also the materials are just textiles and synthetics. You do have kind of, I think this is most likely synthetic leather, kind of in this collar heel area, heel counter area, but it does feel really nice and it feels pretty supportive. The heel counter is pretty thick. Biggest thing though I have an issue with is it doesn't really have a shank anymore. Last year's had like a TPU shank. It feels like it has a shank because it's pretty, well, not pretty, decently sturdy, but it's got like this rubber KD logo. It's rubber, it's not TPU plastic, whatever you want to call it. There's no carbon fiber, but I guess it does the job. And you know, what can I say? These shoes stay the same price. The tech sometimes it goes lower, but I will commend KD on maintaining his price for his shoe line and still having a good amount of tech. So definitely one of the biggest things I could commend him on. My other gripe is the shoelaces, and I feel like this is a common gripe with Nike, is because they just constantly have short shoelaces, which makes it hard to tie. And on top of that, if we're comboing it with the tongue on the KD17, it's big, wide, and fat, so it kind of like takes up a lot of space and makes the tongue, or not the tongue, but the laces even harder to tie down. You do have all these like TPU or fuse overlays just going on the medial and, or I guess the lateral and the medial side. And that obviously, if you guys have seen the Air Maxes, when the images first released on these, you know, I said that's an Air Max, and it still looks like a damn Air Max. However, performs like a basketball shoe. So as long as it does that, I honestly don't care. I honestly didn't even have a problem with the look. I actually really like the look, probably more so in, I want to say my favorite colorway right now that's released is a Metro Boomin one, and if I had that colorway, for sure, definite banger. Now with this one, you do also, like I said, you don't have that much lateral support, and that is pretty obvious whenever you are playing in it. I feel like my foot kind of went off the footbed whenever I was going side to side, and that wasn't, you know, the best feeling. And not only is it like wide foot friendly, but also there's a lack of lateral support. I feel like you gotta at least maintain one of them, if not both. And again, for me, it was, if I had a tighter fit, maybe, you know, like even after breaking in and whatnot, it would still be a little bit tighter with the lack of lateral support. However, because it doesn't have lateral support, I feel like my foot was eventually started moving around a little bit, and that's one of my biggest gripes. The other gripe is the insole. Honestly, if you can see in here right now, the insole just caved in on me, like it crumpled up. I don't know how that happened, when that happened, but it just like crumpled up. It's a piece of crap midsole or insole. And you know, if you guys do want to use your own orthotics or move insoles, you know, feel free to, because much better than what's in here. Now, as far as the weight on the Nike KD17, they do come in a size 9, 13.8 ounces, which is kind of like right around that average. And then for the price, they come in at the same price they always do as far as the KD line, and that is $150 just all throughout. I wouldn't say the shoe in itself also, I wouldn't say is the most breathable one. There's really not many ventilation holes. You do have a decent amount of perforation in the tongue, kind of towards the toe box area, but overall, the breathability, I wouldn't say is all there. So for those of you that want something more breathable, definitely not all there. Now, a lot of people also ask us where we get our basketball socks from. The answer is from Amazon. They come in a pack of 3 that cost just as much as one pair of Nike Elite socks. The ones we have are these 2 muted colors, which the white one and the black one, and they are quarter length. So if you guys like quarter length, they have them available in that, but they also have them in the high top version. Like I said, they come in a pack of 3 that cost just as much as the Nike Elites, and these are pretty much the same thing, but without the Nike branding. They're cushioned, they're ventilated, and they're amazing socks, and they last a long time. If you guys do want a pair, hit the link in our description down below and go grab yourselves a pack. Not a pair, grab yourselves a pack. These shoes overall are a great shoe to play in. They're super fun, really you know, consistent with the KD line, always offer good cushion, great traction. Great cushion and great traction, honestly. The fit was the biggest, I think, departure, and then also the lack of support, where they don't have a TPU plate, they don't have a carbon fiber plate, and then there's not really much of a lateral support, where the 16s had great lateral support, the 15s had great lateral support, the 14s were super snug, they had that strap, which I feel like really didn't do much, and then so on and so forth. This one I feel like is lacking a little bit more. However, still a really fun shoe to play in. Absolutely love it. I just wouldn't say it's Nike's best this year, which we also haven't seen the LeBron 22, the Freak 6s, and the Jaw 2s, which those ones look sick. If you guys have played in the Nike KD17 already, let us know your experience down below. If there are any other shoes you guys would like us to review, you can comment down below. For more content like this, please like, subscribe, and follow. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.